Okay, Tony. Well, first of all, it's 5 games to go until the end of the season, and it's a big crunch spell for Dundee. Just what's your thought heading into this period?
Yeah, I think it was really important getting into this period that we were in good form. I said that to the players, it's similar to when you get into a cup final or whatever. And I think if you look at the last four, form guide with the bottom 16, I'm sorry, we're top of that. And that's having played in that 4 game period for top 6 teams. In Dundee United, Hibs, Rangers and St Mirren, and we've taken 6 points out of that. Albeit our levels dropped against Hibernian, and it's been a long 2 weeks, that performance levels dropped, and that we addressed that. We've had we had a really good training week with a bounce game within that as a group, so we've addressed that, and the message really is clear that, if we can maintain the level of performance we've had in those last 4, then, I've always said that if the performance levels are good, then the results will follow. So we're getting into this period knowing how important it is. It is 5 cup finals, there's no other way of saying that, but we're going into it, I think, in good form, but as I say, it dipped against Hibs, and we don't have any more opportunities for that to happen.
How is the sort of mood and the camaraderie in the camp? Because obviously it's always tough being in the position you're in, but it's such an important time. There's a lot of teams around you as well, though, who are in a predicament too. But how's the mood in this camp?
Yeah, I've got to say it's good. And we've faced as a group, we've faced a lot of adversity this year, and we've always come out punching. We've showed a lot of resilience, and that's what I'm looking for from the group. And I can only relate to past experience that we've displayed that, we've illustrated that, and as I say, in that objective indicator of our last 4 performances, that we're sitting top of that forum guide. So it's important that that's the message to the players, and that we keep doing what we're good at. Keep being ourselves. We can't affect other teams. It's important that everything we do as a group, we do ourselves, and we work as a team together, and that's very much the message. So we go into these 5 really important matches, this intense 4-week period, make sure that we're going to be really aggressive and really attack what's ahead of us.
And I mean, what exactly have you said to the players going into this spell? Because you are in a predicament, but there's a lot of teams around you who could easily fall into a relegation battle. Well, everyone's really in a relegation battle.
Yeah, just exactly what I said there. I think that when you're in this position, you can only kind of relate to facts and anything objective, and our objective indicator is the last 4 games form guide. And I do temper that by saying that performance has been good, but it dipped against Hibs, and the message is really clear to the players that we can't allow it to dip like that again. We keep that consistency of performance. We can't affect other teams, but we can affect ourselves in terms of training days, levels of performance, competition between players, and if we keep a focus on that, a real laser focus on that, and make sure that we're in the best possible place and we're showing the best version of ourselves, we'll give ourselves the best chance in this 5-game period.
How difficult does it make it sort of plan for next season, being where you are in the league? And I assume you're in a situation where there's players coming to the end of contracts and that sort of thing, for that planning for them and for next season.
As a management group, you're doing that throughout the season. That never stops. The recruitment process never stops, and you see we're expanding and developing our recruitment team, because it doesn't stop. You work a couple of windows ahead and all that. So, but the focus has to be really make sure there's a balance. The focus has to be in these 5 games, but meanwhile there's a lot of work going on in the background, and that will continue to be the case.
And of course you face Hearts this weekend. It's a tough one to start off this 5 fixtures, but how much do you feel they could be hurting from the cup game at the weekend?
Again, they could be. It was difficult on them. But again, I can't affect Hearts. What I can do is I can affect my own team, and travelling down to Tynecastle, knowing it's a fantastic arena, brilliant stadium to play in. But we've got a role to play in that, and we've got a lot that we need to do against the opponents and against the crowd to make sure the game hopefully goes our way. But we've been training towards that. We've had 2 weeks, as I say, that there was a dip in terms of the level of performance against Hibs. We've addressed that. As I say, we've had a practice match, we've looked at a lot of things, and we're just trying to make sure we're in the best possible state that we can be to go down to Tynecastle and trying to pick up points.
How confident are you feeling at this point, that Dundee will stay up this season and be safe and not finish in any of the bottom spots?
At the moment it's very much, you guys don't like it, it's cliche, it's game by game. The most important game is your next one, and we're playing Hearts at Tynecastle, and we had a good starting performance in the league against Hearts, but since that we've probably not done enough against them. So we need to make sure that we redress that, and we show the best form of ourselves, and we give ourselves the best possible opportunity to pick up points.
You had a few injury concerns. How's everyone and
Yeah,
going into the game?
early in the week, we had wee concerns over Lurkech, over Lyle Cameron, over Charlie Riley, John McGee and Adewumi. But, Z was back training today, which is fantastic. Lyle Cameron, Charlie Riley, and the other ones will give as much time as possible to be ready for the weekend. So, yeah, they're all making their way back, but hopefully they will all be back for the weekend.
Thank you.
Just given the fact going into these last 5 games that none of the teams in the bottom 6 as it stands so far are completely safe, do you expect it to make it really tense between all of the sides?
I think it's been that all season. I think everybody comments on how competitive the league's been this season, and right up to the last game where teams getting into the top 6 teams falling into the bottom 6. That's the level of competition, because there's a real similarity in terms of standard between the teams. I just need to make sure I can't affect other teams. I can't comment on that, but what I can affect is my own team, and as a squad we need to make sure we work together. We've done that all season. As I say, we've faced many times we've had adversity, and we've really responded to that with real resilience. And this is us getting into 5 cup finals, and it's important that we show not just that performance level, but that real mentality and spirit as a squad, because that will help us get through.
And I suppose, is that sort of game by game message more important now than ever, just given all the other teams involved and the permutations of their results, and just reminding the players of just
absolutely deal with what's in front of us. You affect what you can affect. That's the most important thing, because every team has to play every team. It doesn't matter if you pick up your points at the very start or at the end of it. It's important that you pick up points. So the most important factor of that for me is that you focus on each game individually, and there's no more focus at the moment than us playing Hearts at Tynecastle, and we'll make sure that we've got another training day going into that with players maybe returning from injury, but making sure that we're in the best possible place we can be to get down there and pick up a result.
Just back to it, 5 games to go until the end of the season. Just, what's your thoughts as you look ahead at what is a really crunch time for Dundee?
Yeah, it's 5 cup finals for us now. Everyone's aware of that. Looking forward to it, to show what we can do. Trained well, and yeah, we're looking forward to Saturday to start it off.
How much confidence, and how is the sort of mood in the camp? Because it must be difficult being where you are on the table and knowing that you have 5 games to go, but how is the camaraderie and the mood in the camp going into these games?
The mood's great. Everyone's just focused and ready for it. Obviously against Hibs was a bit of a dip, but before that we were in good form, and we're going to hopefully carry on good form into Saturday.
And of course it's Hearts this weekend, who will obviously be carrying the disappointment of the Scottish Cup as well. But results against them, I think you've lost 3 times out of 4 to them this season already. What are you expecting from that game?
Yeah, look, it's always a tough game going down to Hearts, but we've had time to prepare. We know what they're good at and what areas that we can hurt them, and we've worked on it, and everyone knows the game plan that we're going to go down there with and come away with 3 points.
Do you feel they could still be hurting from the Cup at the weekend?
Who knows? Hopefully, I hope so, yeah.
And you yourself, how much do you feel, and how confident are you that Dundee can get out of the predicament they're in? We see around them, you're not that far away from St Johnstone, but there's several other teams who could easily be dragged in as well.
Yeah, the table's really close, isn't it? But from our side, we're all confident that we can get out of this easily, with hard work and with the players we've got. You can see that we score goals. We've got a great attacking players. We just need to be more solid at the back, which I know we can be, with the likes of obviously Joe back and experienced players. So the next 5 games for us are massive, but we know we can turn it around.
And it starts with a very tough game against Hearts. How big would a victory in that game be to sort of push you forward for the rest of the season?
Yeah, look, all of the last 5 games are going to be tough. Obviously Hearts is one of the big teams as well in the league, so it's a tough start, but what a great momentum that would be if we come away with 3 points.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just like been mentioned before, no team in the bottom 6 are truly completely safe from relegation. And do you think that it's going to make for really tense and tight games in these last 5 matches?
Yeah, I think there'll be games that everyone wants to win and needs to win, and you'll be able to see that from us on Saturday. We're going there to win. We'll come away with 3 points, and we're all looking forward to it.
And just what's the message from the manager been going into these sort of last 5 games?
5 cup finals, just been really positive with everyone. The mood the mood's been great round. That starts from the gaffer. He's been brilliant. Just making sure that we're all ready, focused, and we know the game plan for Saturday.